Hey, bitches.
I'm a freaky ass bitch, I'm a lady. We not leave until I'm pregnant with a baby. Hey,
I don't care what y'all say, I tore that freestyle. Okay? Okay. Hey bitches. You guys, that intro was recorded about 2 or 3 days ago. I'm not really sure. But it was for this video that I had planned. Actually, I filmed that video 2 times. The first one, I was supposed to call my trades and tell them how much I miss them, you know. Try to win them back because I've been letting them loose recently. I've been just too busy. And the second one was actually to read ghost stories. Hence the intro why like the flashlight is like, you know. Point is, I decided to scrap both videos because the first one, my trades did not answer. There's about 9 of them and none of them answered. And the ghost story video, honestly, I had to scrap that too, no shade. But you guys, today is June 30th, okay? It is the last day of Pride Month. So with that being said, today we're going to be reading DL story times off of Reddit instead of ghost stories. So let's get right into this one. This one was posted by LGNAF2016, so I could go flame his ass right afterwards. It was actually posted 15 days ago, and it says, I'm a guy who's been in a relationship with a girl for about 7 years now. Love her. Want to propose. However, I'm a D-sucking wow. I've sucked almost every day of our relationship and she has no idea. I get so close to home with it. Some of my sneaky links have met her. We've hung out and everything, but she has no idea I'm their CUM dumpster. One time we did a double date with one of my sneaky links and his girl. They were upstairs making dinner. Him and I were in the basement gaming. In reality, I was sucking 4 loads out. Uninterrupted. Days when my girl has to go to work and I have an off day, I spend the day cruising. House visits, parks, restrooms, etc. And when she gets home, I F the ish out of her. I've tried stopping, but the withdrawal makes it worse. I went 3 weeks without doing that. And when I gave in on a night she worked and I was off, I ate 47 Ds in her 8-hour shift. Yes, I keep count. Just having all those D's flop on my face and butt flying everywhere, I'm not even gonna say that word. I got D's lined up for tonight when she goes to work. I can't help it. I'm a masculine man and my few consistent sneaky links are all DL with girls too, so I've never had an issue with being outed. I don't know why I'm writing this. I guess I need a forum to speak out about it, to have an outlet. Is there any other DL man married that's going through the same stuff? Well, first of all, I would hope not. That is so disgusting, like, and that is just so trifling. Like, there's ghetto, there's ratchet, and then there's trifling, and that's where you land, boo, the trifling. You know, you can give somebody the clap doing some shit like that. That's when I tell you, like, people don't know how to, like, really keep up with their man. Like, I feel like once you start living with them and stuff, like, you feel like you can trust them. No. And this is exactly why I'm single. Exactly why I cheat. Exactly why I'm a hoe. Like, the list just goes on because you really cannot trust a single man in this world. Honestly, pretty bold of you to start writing this on here. Like, I'm not sure if I hope this is not a real story because 87 Ds all at once. I don't know if I'm disgusted or jealous. In all seriousness though, like, you need to leave that girl. Like, you need to stop playing in her face. Next story. This one is titled, So I Gave a DL Man a Chance and I Regret That Ish with My Whole Heart. I met this boy when I was 11 and he was 9 and we became friends. His family moved away and we lost contact. Fast forward 18 years, I get hit up on Grindr by this DL and started linking up. We became friends and he went to my grandma's house together once and the
Y'all, I'm editing. I thought that said STD.
I met this boy when I was 11 and he was 9 and we became friends. His family moved away and we lost contact. Fast forward 18 years later, I get hit up on Grindr by this DL and started linking up. We became friends and he went to my grandma's house together. That's how I found out he was the same boy I used to be friends with. We kept sleeping together and eventually got romantically involved. We were both down when we got together, but I started coming up again after not working for 3 years. Me being me, I didn't mind paying for ish because that's the role I typically play. I'm a provider at heart. It seems as my life was coming back together and he started asking me for more and more help, which again I'm cool with because I love him. And he was supposed to love me. I haven't said this yet, but I am a recovering addict. This man started putting me in positions to be around my substance of choice, even after I asked for his support in staying sober. He weaponized a lot of my trauma to get what he wanted, and I'm just coming to the conclusion that I have been delusional and that the man I loved only loved what I could do for him sexually and financially. It took me saying no a couple of times to see that he was only with me because I had his back no matter what it was. I was always in his corner trying to help him find a job, helping him when their power went out, helping him with his kids. Yeah, I know I sound like a dummy, but I really loved him, and when it comes to money, I don't care about spending it on people I love. There were a lot of red flags along the way. People warned me about dating a DL guy, and I did not listen. I'm writing all of this to say do not date a DL guy. It's not worth the mental health struggle. It's not worth not feeling good enough like you are the problem and effing everything up. I had to block him today, and it's taking everything for me not to break down. I've been shedding tears here and there since last night before I came to the conclusion that this had to be done. So, I am not an expert when it comes to DLs. So, I am not an expert when it comes to DLs because I don't really deal with them for the most part. Like, they do hit me up and all that, but I don't pay them no mind. Like, come on now, it's a DL. Like, it doesn't matter how cute. Well, okay, like some of them, like, you just gotta give it a pass. But others, like, it's just so embarrassing. Like, well, how are you, like, a certain age in DL? It just sucks how gay people are always the victim in the situation. Like, just because you're gay doesn't mean you have to be the victim in the story. Like, you can play a DL back, y'all. The few times I have encountered one, let me tell you, I'd be playing in their face. Because first of all, I'm not a provider. I only provide for myself, okay? And second of all, if you're not tricking, I'm not licking. So there's no way, like, I'm doing something for you and you're not spending that. If you're gonna have a DL, try to have more than one, because in situations like this, he could have easily let that hoe go and then have him another one. No shade. Anyway, on to the next story. Hopefully the next one's not as dumbass as this bitch. Okay, you guys, so this one is actually from the girlfriend's POV on how she noticed her man was DL. This one says, I found out that my ex was DL a few months ago into our relationship when I noticed that he got an email from Grindr saying his subscription was running out after that. Okay, baby, you need to put like periods and stuff. Like, I found out that my ex was DL a few months ago into our relationship when I noticed that he got an email from Grindr saying his subscription was running out. After that, I searched through his phone and I found heaps of evidence that he was DL. This was around April of last year, and I broke up with him in March of this year. When I found out, it really ruined me. I was completely numb, and the whole relationship I dreaded. I wanted to leave so badly, but I didn't have enough courage to do so. When I eventually ended things with him for good, a whole weight lifted off my shoulders. I knew that nothing would change the fact that he was DL and he never admitted it to me, even after I showed him everything and I acknowledged that to him. I just wanted him to tell me the truth, and I wasn't going to judge him. To this day, I know that he is continuing to hide this from his partners, and the best advice that I have for you is, I know it's hard to leave that man, even if you're having the thoughts that he is, it's most likely true. And even if he doesn't admit it, it's not going to stop. I even knew that my ex was meeting up with guys secretly behind my back when we were living together, and it hurt me so bad. It took me a long time to get over it fully, but now I am healed and I am so happy I didn't have that in the back of my mind, and that I am not with someone who cannot come to terms with himself about his sexuality and lying, hurting the girls that he is with. Yeah, so no. First of all, I was feeling bad at first, but after reading your story, I don't feel bad at all. Girl, you had me having strokes reading this whole paragraph. Like, can you like put periods and like commas and, you know, write correctly? I will say though, I'm glad that she's blaming her man, because I've seen cases where like the girls will start going for the gay guy that was hooking up with their man. Don't get me wrong, there are no saints either, but sometimes like the gay person really does not know. And even if he did know, you should be coming for the man that you sleep with right next to your bed that basically gives you the same D he took out of somebody's ass. But anyway, you had me, you know, for the first half of the story. Where you lost me was where you said you knew that he was linking with people, like you were aware of it, you just like put it in the background. Girl, now you just lost my respect. Props to you for letting him go though, no shade. Okay, so this one is from a gay guy's perspective on why the DL that he met with is being dry after giving him what he wanted. So I know the number one rule is don't hook up with the DL guy. But this man surprised the ish out of me in the middle of the night and texting me, all I know is I have a crush on you and I need to take action. I went over immediately like a dumbass bitch. I went over immediately because he's hot AF. So it was everything. I made him bust twice. He also told me he's not attracted to guys at all, but when he saw me, he knew he had to hit me up. He's so DL though, and in a frat. I don't care about dating him, and I had a good time, and it looks like he had a good time too. But after, he was really nervous and panicking, and I told him everything's okay and it was just between us. The next morning, I asked if he had a good time and if he would do it again. He was very dry. He said, "It was interesting, I don't know." I told him if he's ever home again, you could hit me up. He said, "Okay, thank you." I don't know what to do. I've had this pit in my stomach ever since, and he hasn't been viewing my stories. I really want to see him again, but I can't text back. Any advice, please, on potentially changing his mindset? And why would he say all those sweet things to me just to be dry? Girl. Y'all know there is nothing more dangerous than a man in heat. A man will say anything to you when they are on that. And then you got the audacity to sit there and say he said all those sweet things to you. First of all he said was that he had a crush on you, he knew he had to take action. And what was that action? You pulling up to S him off, and then him telling you that he's not attracted to guys, only to you. Are you dumb? Some gay people will just take anything. Alright, you guys, next story. This one is from the girl's point of view on how her DL boyfriend is hooking up with her male cousin. Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be posting something like this, but I really need some advice. I'm honestly pretty lost right now. So I've been dating my boyfriend, let's call him Jake, for almost 3 years. He's always been the perfect boyfriend, attentive, caring, and supportive. I thought we had the ideal relationship, and I even started thinking about marriage, but recently something has come to light and it has completely shattered my world. It started when my cousin Mark moved to our city for work. Mark and I have always been close, and when he needed a place to stay for a few weeks before his apartment was ready, I gladly offered our guest room. Everything seemed fine at first. Jake and Mark seemed to get along pretty well, which made me happy. I thought, great, my boyfriend and cousin are bonding. But then, weird things started happening. Jake began to act distant and secretive. He would take his phone with him everywhere and started disappearing for hours without explanation. I also noticed Mark acting strangely, avoiding eye contact and suddenly not wanting to be around when Jake was home. Last week, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I went through Jake's phone. I know, but my gut was screaming at me. That's when I found it. The messages between him and Mark, they weren't just friendly texts, they were explicit. My heart sank. I realized Jake and Mark were hooking up behind my back. I confronted Mark first, but he flat out denied everything. He said I was being paranoid and that the messages were just jokes between friends. Feeling gaslit, I confronted Jake too. He was just as defensive, saying I was overthinking things and I shouldn't be snooping on his phone. They both denied the affair, leaving me feeling like I was losing my mind. But I knew what I saw, and the more they denied it, the more determined I became to uncover the truth. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I bought a small video recording device and set it up on our guest room. I hated myself for it, but I needed proof. I needed to know that I wasn't crazy. And that is all that she wrote. I hope Mark and Eric, or whatever his name is, are having a good ass time. How dare you write something like that and then just leave me on a cliffhanger? Like, bitch. All jokes aside, that is truly disgusting. I have a cousin that I'm like close to the point where like, that's my sister. I just can't imagine myself ever seeing like one of her pieces like that. Like, that is just so disgusting, weird, and like, I hope you burned them or something. I don't know. No shade, y'all. I love these little candies. Like, they're so good. Okay, y'all. So last story, because I'm ready for Pride Month to be over. It was titled, I found out my friend was DL after he made moves during a sleepover. So like the title says, I met the said friend back in 2023 in the university I was in. He recognized me from my sister's high school and we kind of hit off from there. We were here and there. We would go some months without talking to each other. Recently though, I moved into his neighborhood, so we hung out occasionally. He was always pretty strict on his straightness, asking me to hook him up with girls despite knowing I wasn't that social. Early last year, he asked me if I was into guys since I never engaged about girls. I jokingly brushed it off because I really wasn't sure why he was asking. He then proceeded into a convo where he said, you could always find a nice girl or a guy if you're into that, which made me realize he was probably hinting at something, but he didn't bring it up much afterwards. The night of the sleepover was a couple weeks ago when he texted around midnight saying he was locked out and asked if he could hang till about 6 a.m. the next day. I was surprised, but since it was already a few hours to that and he lived in the neighborhood, I said why not, but this is where things got interesting. When he came to my room, he just talked about girls and random topics and asked to watch a movie. He suggested a pretty explicit one, borderline PORN actually. He said a girl made him watch it, though I could feel him staring at me occasionally, which was weird to me. He would also rub my hand occasionally and said he was just touchy with all his friends, so I ignored that. And when he wanted to go to bed, I turned off the movie and started using my phone. Then he suddenly hugged me. I was shocked, but tried to laugh it off and left my room for a while. I didn't want to think anything of that. He was asleep when I went back, so I decided to go to bed as well. I was pretty uncomfortable but tried to sleep anyways. Mid-sleep, I felt him starting to touch my back. Then he put his leg over me and kept caressing. I was frozen in shock. In all my years, I'd never experienced something like this before. This continued for a while and I ignored him and stayed still, hoping he'd stop, which eventually he did. I waited and woke him up at 6. He made an excuse to stay till 7 and finally got ready. I caught him glancing at me, trying to figure out if I noticed what he was doing. I saw him out and he left like nothing happened. When I got back to my room, I felt so icky, gross, and tired. I was just sitting in disbelief, still couldn't believe what had happened. It had been about 3 weeks and I haven't spoken to him since. He texts hey and sends TikToks like nothing happened, but I don't reply. Now I just wonder if I was wrong by not speaking up. Should I have set him straight when I felt the signs? I just didn't know what to do in the situation. I'm naturally pretty non-confrontational, but I don't know how to deal with this. I don't even know what to say to him. We live in a pretty homophobic country, little progress besides younger people, and we're young, so I could understand him being unwilling to share his sexuality. But him sneakily making advances at me really threw me off, especially since we've been friends for a while. I'm not sure if I should respond to him and let him know that wasn't cool, or maybe ask him why. Or should I just continue icing him out? That was different. I'm glad you didn't give in, right, to your DL friend. I was actually pretty shocked because I thought the story was gonna take a whole different route. I was gonna have to cut this clip. But props to you for not giving in and for not like messing with it. I do think you should have, reached out to him and let him know, hey, like I didn't appreciate that much. And if you want the cookie, you gotta come correct. And it's so sad to say, like, okay, I don't know about y'all, but me personally, I don't have a lot of male friends. Like I have like 2. And the reason I don't really have much is because they are all so weird. Like you can have a sleepover with them because stuff like that happens. Sometimes like they out of nowhere start calling you cute, start saying like flirtatious stuff. And don't get me wrong, like I do be down with the get down, but like sometimes you just want a friend. Don't shade. If he fine, I might be going. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Again, I don't deal with DL men often, but one thing I will say, you guys, like, always know that you don't have to be the victim in the story. I've dealt with a few men in the past, and I promise you, in not one of their stories am I the dumbass that got played. But yeah, you guys, I think that's the end for this video. No shade. I am gonna go work out, and then I do have a Fortnite date with this trade. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are my socials. No shade to any deal that has watched this video. It's actually all shade because y'all like stink. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification so you know when the queen uploads a new video, okay? Okay.
I don't be giving you niggas a shot. I know he don't want me for me. Like, I know he just want what I got.
Body, I'm full of nasty. Like I'm trying to see what a dooties.